This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Orbiting 22,000 miles above the Earth, the GOES-R satellite is the first of several NOAA satellites that will boost weather predictions. Here on the Suncoast, we have felt the impact of lightning, tornadoes, and of course hurricanes. But soon, with this technology, we'll be able to more accurately predict where and when these storms will strike. Hi, I'm Ray Collins. Alan's on assignment tonight, but first, our first 7 stories at 7. President Obama is in the Bay Area today. The 44th president has 44 days left in office. More on his appearance at MacDill Air Force Base from our Alan Cohn, who's live in Tampa. Alan?
Ray, we came here today because this is President Obama's last visit to our area while he is still in the office. And not only did he come here and thank the men and women who got Osama bin Laden and are helping to defeat ISIS, he also came here to throw down a marker to the next administration that you can defeat terrorism and win without upholding American values. In a packed hangar to an audience of servicemen and women on the front lines of the war against ISIS, the president took credit for getting bin Laden and all but destroying al-Qaeda. He says ISIS has lost territory and is on the run, but he cautioned the way to rid the world of ISIS is not by using torture or waterboarding.
We can get these terrorists and stay true to who we are. And in fact, our success in dealing with terrorists through our justice system reinforces why it is past time to shut down the detention facility at Guantanamo. We're wasting hundreds of millions of dollars to keep fewer than 60 people in a detention facility in Cuba. Until Congress changes course, it will be judged harshly by history, and I will continue to do all that I can to remove this blot on our national honor.
The president also pointed when he came into office there were 150,000 American troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. Today, there are less than 15,000. The war on terror, he says, can be won, but it won't be won by troops. It will be won by strong, savvy power and American ideals. Ray, back to you.
All right, thank you, Alan Cohn, live in Tampa tonight. Back here on the Suncoast, after a decade of sitting vacant, the old site of the quay will soon have new life. Last night, city commissioners approved a $1 billion plan for a mixed-use development. It includes nearly 700 condos, 175 hotel rooms, along with retail, office, and commercial space. It'll be divided into 9 different blocks, and each one will go through a separate public hearing and approval process. Today, we found supporters and opponents of this massive project.
We've had a huge chunk of land that has lied fallow in the city, and nobody's been able to access it.
I recognize that the property will be developed, but we just don't want it overdeveloped, and we don't want it to overwhelm the area.
Construction of the project could take 7 to 10 years. More public art is coming to Sarasota. City Commission approved a new sculpture for the city's next roundabout at Ringling and Orange. Jose Blanco, the artist, chosen over 163 other applicants. His art will cost $150,000. An update now on another controversial, iconic project, the former Colony Resort on Longboat Key. Today, Orlando developer Unicor released a video of what it wants a new 5-star resort to look like, and here it is. Longboat Key's Town Commission voted last night to let voters decide whether or not the project should go forward. A vote is set for that on March the 14th. For the 4th time in the past 43 years, the DeSoto Square Mall has new owners. The mall has been up for sale since the past summer, and shoppers have advice, they say, for the next mall owner.
Well, I used to come here, but it's really dead, so I don't really like coming here anymore.
Get better stores, like there's not really good stores for us young people.
The mall will officially change hands on December 22nd. After months of debate, the school board voted to start classes a week earlier and end the fall semester before the winter break in Sarasota County. Dozens of speakers on both sides of the issue took one last chance to sound off to the school board late this afternoon. In the end, though, the board voted 5-0 in favor of a mid-August start date. That's a week earlier. One of the parents wearing oppose stickers says exams in December are a bad idea.
The kids are already tuned out. My two are already tuned out. The Christmas spirit's running high and the studying's running low.
I've gone back and forth a lot, and I said this at the last meeting. I think it's hard that any calendar proposed it's unlikely that you're going to have unanimous support around it.
Supporters say it makes more sense to end the semester before the winter break. Other opponents say starting a week earlier will also mess up summer vacations. Some art students in Venice will soon have more room to work. Today, the city's Arts Center broke ground for 2 new classrooms. The center is also launching a $350,000 fundraising drive to pay for the expansion, as well as a new roof on one of the buildings. The facility serves thousands of students each year, but officials say they had to turn away some students due to a lack of space.
Well, we're at a point right now that we are so busy here that we don't have enough classroom space to accommodate the amount of students. And it also, really helps us in the long term as far as sustainable income for future sustainability of the Art Center.
The center hopes to open the new buildings later next year. After a string of nice weather, a sharp turn today. Not exactly Chamber of Commerce weather. Let's get the first forecast now from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Thanks, Ray. A good chance, though, for some showers and storms today. We saw it. We had it up to 2 inches in some areas, and that's some good news because we've been so dry here as of late. The news is now, though, that rain has since moved on, and we're looking at generally partly cloudy skies right now. The temperature at 73. Temperatures really aren't going to drop all that much for this evening. Right now, that west wind at 9, the pressure 2996, and that is on the rise. The humidity at 93%. You can see that line of heavier weather now well to the south of our viewing area, and we're looking for that slightly drier air moving in behind the actual front now, which is now making its way through Charlotte County. A little drier air slipping into parts of Hillsborough and Pinellas County as well. Dew point temperatures tell the story that drier air has simply moved into Jacksonville, Tallahassee, and Pensacola, where the dew point temperatures are in the 50s. Still in the 70s here, but they are lowering, and they will continue to do so. But our lows tonight will be actually above average. A normal low right around 55. We'll see low temperatures in the low to mid 60s. There will be the possibility of fog, too. That's a real possibility. Already starting to see some of that rolling in with that westerly wind. Temperatures by 11 o'clock at 71 degrees. Lows tonight, as I mentioned, down into the mid 60s. And we'll see generally fair skies with that fog forming. And then tomorrow we'll start off with the fog in the morning, but should burn off and make for a pretty nice day. There's a stronger cold front coming down, Ray. We'll talk more about that and how cold things may get. Jackets and sweaters may be required.
All right, talk to you soon. Thanks for the heads up, Bob. Still to come, the next generation of weather satellites is now here. GOES-R is able to scan the planet faster and better than any other satellite. We'll show you how it works when we come back.
The agents at SWC would like to show you pictures of all the homes that they've sold quickly for their clients. But they're just too many to show. Contact SWC today and find out for yourself. We just market your home better.
ABC7 News at 7, weeknights.
Are you considering joint replacement or revision surgery? Consider this. Dr. Edward Stolarski has performed thousands of successful joint replacement procedures and trained surgeons from all over the world. Using advanced technologies, Dr. Stolarski is able to perform some of the most complex surgeries.
I wish I knew about Dr. Stolarski much sooner.
After the surgery, I don't have any pain. It's like I've got a 16-year-old hip.
My name's Ed Stolarski. What I really do is I give people back their life.
Schedule a consultation today.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on a pedal. You get a clean mop head that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Batteries Plus bulbs keep stacks of batteries for cars, cell phones, watches, plus light bulbs for lamps, can lights, and appliances right on hand. Did I mention we also repair smartphones? Batteries Plus bulbs. Trust the plus. Visit Batteries Plus bulbs today.
Now, some exciting news in the world of weather forecasting, Bob.
That's right. The Next Generation Weather Satellite, which was recently launched from Cape Canaveral, is expected to propel us and the United States Weather Program into the lead in weather forecasting.
2, 1. And liftoff.
The nearly $500 million payload in this Atlas V rocket is going to be a game changer in predicting hurricanes, tornadoes, and saving lives. The new technology on this bird will send images back to Earth in almost real time, 5 times faster than the ones currently in use. What used to take 30 minutes will now take only 30 seconds.
If there's a severe storm somewhere in the United States, over 1,000 by 1,000 kilometer area, they can take a picture every 30 seconds. And so that means that, as you string those together, you can have almost a, not quite real-time movie of a storm as it's developing.
This will lead to faster warning times and allow people to get out of harm's way sooner, thus saving lives.
This spacecraft will impact 300 million people a day.
It also has a real-time lightning mapper, which will be able to detect not only cloud-to-ground lightning, but cloud-to-cloud as well. This will be extremely helpful in determining where tornadoes may pop up. Besides looking at Earth, there are 3 separate sensors, or cameras if you will, looking at the sun and space. These will be able to detect sunspots, solar storms, and coronal mass ejection, which can cause significant damage to satellites, power grids on Earth, and protect astronauts. The GOES-R will be operational in about a year from now. That's when NOAA will take command of the spacecraft and begin utilizing its amazing capabilities. The data originating from this next generation satellite will be enormous.
Months, it will return more data than all the other U.S. geostationary weather satellites have downloaded in the past 40 years.
Besides looking at the skies, it will also be monitoring signals from people who are in need of rescue while at sea or hiking. Although this feature has been around a while, it has been enhanced so that it will be able to detect weaker signals. And finally, the data gathered by this system should greatly improve our forecast modeling and put us head and shoulders above the rest of the world. Truly amazing technology there. The GOES-R is only the first of 4 new NOAA satellites that will help redefine our ability to detect and forecast weather events through 2037.
I can tell you're excited.
I am.
Up next, we'll talk to a NOAA scientist on our roundtable discussion. Stay with us.
On horrendously cold nights, on days when the rain has been relentless, or when the sun is beating down, there is an animal trapped with no protection, fighting to stay alive. Time is running out for them, but you can help save them by joining the ASPCA today. With your donation of just $18 a month, you'll help rescue abused and neglected animals, provide them with food, shelter, and medical care. When you go online or call in the next 10 minutes, we'll send you this free membership kit and our limited edition 150th anniversary t-shirt. It's just 60 cents a day to pull animals out of a terrible life. Don't let them suffer another day. Please help now.
Selling your home? Insist on a 3D showcase tour from Gulf Shores Realty. Virtual tours are flat and boring and look more like a slideshow than a tour. A 3D tour from Gulf Shores Realty is like actually walking through the home without the drive. Get instant access to your next home from any device. Multiple views give homebuyers a perspective like no other. For a limited time, mention ABC7 and Gulf Shores Realty will provide a complimentary 3D tour with your new listing.
An important message for Americans eligible for Medicare.
Are you receiving all the benefits available to you? Do you know there is money available to lower your Medicare prescription costs?
Now's the time to find the coverage that's right for you at the right price. The way to do that is to explore your options. You can spend hours doing that yourself, or you can call Health Markets and let us do the legwork for you with no cost or obligation. We'll search a variety of plans from nationally recognized companies to find the coverage that's the best fit for you at a price that fits your budget, and we'll do it at no charge to you.
Plus, you may be able to save money on prescriptions. We'll tell you if you qualify.
Why pay a penny more than you have to for an insurance policy?
Let us find you the right plan at the right price and see if you qualify to lower your prescription costs.
Put our free service to work for you at no charge.
Call the number on the screen now to make sure you're getting all the benefits you deserve. Don't wait. Call now.
Welcome back. An exciting time for weather forecasters nationwide. The GOES-R satellite launched last month from Cape Canaveral. It'll become operational sometime next year. This has the ability to scan the Earth 5 times faster and with 4 times more resolution than any other satellite in NOAA's fleet. For more on this giant leap in weather technology, we've got Charlie Paxton, Science and Operations Officer at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and our own Chief Meteorologist, Bob Harrigan. Thanks for both being here right now. So this is the biggest thing since Bob said back in 1988 when radars came along.
Yeah, we got the new Doppler radar back then, and it helped us progress with our warnings. We were seeing things that we just didn't see before with the old radars. And now we have a new satellite. It's faster, better, and it provides new products that we really haven't seen in an operational setting.
Huge milestone then for your department.
Oh yeah, it is.
And it's exciting for you.
And it's our department too, because I tell you what, this information that is going to be coming from this satellite is disseminated across the entire spectrum, not just to the government, but it will be available for private industry as well, and so that they can make decisions based on it. It will be available for television stations and broadcast stations throughout the world, not just us. So it's a global reach on this new information that's coming out. I remember taking satellite meteorology back in a long time ago, 1984, and the professor at the time who was teaching it said, you know, the satellite data that comes out at that point, there was so much that a lot of it wasn't even being used. Now think about this. This satellite in particular has more data with it that will be coming from it than all the satellites combined over the course of the past 30 years. So that's a lot of data if you think about it, and there's going to be a lot understood and a lot more research being done with all the data that comes out of it.
So in my cramming today, it's called the GOES-R, and then it'll be called the GOES-16 once it's in place. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it stands for the Geostationary Operational Environmental Satellite.
Yes.
Am I warm?
You got it.
Yeah, we have 3 up there right now. We have 13, 14, and 15, and then eventually when NOAA takes over, I think they then call it GOES-16.
Yeah.
So in basic terms, this is going to make your job easier?
Well, a lot easier, and you can help me out with this, Charlie, but as far as forecasting where tornadoes may be popping up, severe weather may be popping up, and how fog forms and where it may be forming, we'll get a little bit better handle on that. It has 16 different channels in the infrared spectrum as well as the visible spectrum and the near infrared as well. So those are all different wavelengths that the satellite looks at and can determine what kind of cloud formation is there, what kind of clouds, low clouds, high clouds, medium-sized clouds. On top of that, the speed of which this is going to be going at is amazing.
Oh yeah, it scans 5 times faster, and with the last satellites we had 5 channels. Now we have 16,
right, which
will provide us different looks at the atmosphere.
How long has this been in the works, Charlie?
It's been in the works, I think, since about 2008. Yeah. But the final design was noted back in 2012.
And it blasted off last month, and it'll be ready sometime next year. Is there a chance, not to be a skeptic, that it might not connect? Might it not work? Is it definite it's going to be fine, no problems?
Well, I can't say that everything will work. I mean, there's so many instruments on the spacecraft, and some of them look at the sun and look for solar flares and that sort of thing, but most of them are focused on the Earth, where we live, and there are a number of different things like the lightning mapper. This is new. We'll be able to see from space not just the cloud-to-ground lightning, but the in-cloud, cloud-to-air lightning, the lightning that takes place a lot of the time before we get a strike on the ground. So we'll have at least some predictability here for lightning coming out of the clouds and hitting the ground.
Huge for us in Florida.
And more perspective on that also is that prior to tornadic activity, it's been proven that you get an increased lightning, actually increased lightning in the storm itself. And then just after that, the tornado sometimes drops out. So that's going to help us a lot because we normally never used to be able to get cloud-to-cloud, intra-cloud lightning detection. This will help us with that. On top of that, you have to think about aircraft travel and how much money they're going to save and be able to figure out where the intra-cloud lightning is as well as the cloud-to-ground so that airlines can avoid those big storms where a lot of intra-cloud lightning is going on. And the ground-based detection model that we're using now doesn't see that. So it will help in that, save money as far as planes go and the damage. Damage in billions of dollars to aircraft lost as a result of lightning over the world.
Save from damage, also saved lives as well. So we'll talk more about that next. But first, we'll take a quick break. Have more on this weather forecasting technology and our forecast after this.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352. Alex Karras Lincoln's holiday sales event is here. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sports Utility for $269 per month or a 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We are proud to introduce the newest addition to the Lincoln lineup, the all-new 2017 Lincoln Continental. We have a great selection and ready for immediate delivery. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury. Winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Sun Coast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
They took that stress and that tension when I was particularly feeling very bad after that nasty car accident, and it was such a relief to know that I didn't have to bear that burden alone, that I had help.
Our goal is to not just get a satisfactory settlement on their case. We want them up on their feet, happy again. They've gotten their life back.
You've seen me roll for 100 G's, but I got a little more than dough riding on this one. They call you Lady Luck, but there is room for doubt. At times you have a very unladylike way of running out. And so the best that I can do is pray. Luck, be a lady tonight.
We'll have more on weather forecasting technologies next, but first, the weather itself. Here's our Chief Meteorologist, Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Yeah, with some of the old technology, we'll take a look at what's happening right now. We have some fog, a good chance of that rolling in overnight. That fog will be around, and then another front arrives late Thursday, early Friday, and with it, a much colder air to move in behind the second front. And then the cool down will be only around for about 36 hours or so, and then we'll start to see temperatures moderating a bit back as early as Saturday afternoon. Now that front, for the most part, brought us the heavy rainfall and shower activity around is continuing to push to the southeast. So the heavy rain chance is over for us. There's still a chance to see a light shower here and there, maybe a sprinkle or two, but not much expected in terms of accumulation. And it looks as though we will see some drier air settle in. You'll notice the lower humidity, at least by late tomorrow afternoon. There could be some fog, as I said, to start the day off, though, on Wednesday. And then the atmosphere will not moisten up all that much for the arrival of the next front, as I said, so the rain chances will stay fairly low, it looks like, on late Thursday night and Friday morning. Not all that high, but rainfall amounts, at least estimates from the Doppler radar site, pretty impressive in parts of Manatee County and also North Sarasota County. Not as much down in South Sarasota County today, but these are the estimates. 2.4 inches there near Bradenton and south near Osprey, I should say down south near Onico. Bayshore Gardens getting about an inch of rainfall there. Lesser amounts into Anna Maria Island and 1/10 of an inch in northwest Bradenton. Well, the evening forecast looks to be fairly warm still. By 11 o'clock, we'll see partly cloudy skies, temperatures generally into the upper 60s to low 70s. Right now, it's 73 degrees. The dew point really hasn't dropped all that much yet. Winds are out of the west at 6. The pressure, 29.96 inches, and that is on the rise. The high today, despite the clouds and rain, we still warmed to 80. 72 was the morning low. That was well above the average of 55 degrees. Now, we're expecting high temperatures tomorrow still into the upper 70s to mid 70s across the area. Sarasota Bradenton Airport, first time in a long time they got some rainfall, and it was a lot. Over an inch of rain fell there. And for the month thus far, we're at 1.18 inches. And the hourly forecast looks like this for Wednesday. We'll still see highs into the mid-70s, fairly close to seasonal averages. And we'll have a mixture of sun and clouds and some fog in the morning, as I mentioned. And then the next front is going to bring an increase in clouds as early as Thursday, with a chance for a few showers on into Friday morning. Now, as far as the overall satellite and radar picture goes, fairly dry conditions across Louisiana into Mississippi and Alabama this evening. The storm system itself is starting to head off into the Atlantic right now, but it's a very fast-moving system that we're seeing right now. We're seeing another one develop. An area of low pressure will develop and swing that cold front our way, which will be a stronger one in terms of temperatures behind it. You'll notice the forecast calling for that fog to be around and also that frontal boundary kind of hanging down to our south. As we move through time on Wednesday, the fog burns off, reveals partly cloudy skies. Some areas in Charlotte County may see that fog hanging around a little bit longer. And then the second cold front starts to move down by late Thursday, approaching the panhandle for us. It looks like moving through right before sunrise. For boaters tomorrow, a bit of a fog out there, otherwise a light chop. On the bays and inland waters, north winds at 10 knots. And the extended forecast shapes up like this. A 30% chance for showers late Thursday, better chance for late Thursday night and Friday morning. And then we start to cool down. Highs on Friday will be breezy, 64 degrees, 47 to start the day on Saturday. And then we quickly warm up. We'll be right back after this. Stick around.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-652-3012. That's 1-800-652-3012. Call now 1-800-652-3012. For a free brochure, call 1-800-652-3012.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WindGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WindGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
Welcome back. The topic, a new weather forecasting satellite like none other. It's called the GOES-R satellite. We have NOAA's Charlie Paxton and Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Indeed, an exciting time for both of you with this. It went up last month. It'll be functional sometime in 2017. Talking first quarter, second quarter, any idea, or is it still, pardon the pun, up in the air?
It's about 6 months out. They're getting a satellite into position. They unfold the solar array. They start checking out all the instruments. There's so many different instruments on it, but we'll be seeing the data come out 5 times faster than the old satellites that are up there now. We'll have 4 times the resolution, so we'll be able to pick up on elements that we couldn't see before. And so it's a fantastic piece of equipment. We can't wait to use it.
I know my friends in Buffalo will look forward to being able to see lake effect snow a little better. And down here, more importantly, you'll pick up on lightning and also hurricanes, obviously.
Hurricanes are a big deal when it comes to this satellite imagery, because this satellite will be able to detect rapid growth as opposed to the delay that it used to have, 15 minutes. Now it'll be sooner. It could be, they can isolate this on the actual hurricane and get information updated every 30 seconds as opposed to every 15 minutes. And this will give us a better understanding of how these systems grow and get bigger and stronger. On top of that, with the other data from our Hurricane Hunter aircraft, which also fly into the storm, this technology is going to help us in predicting where these storms may be headed down the future. On top of that, you saw me right there in one of the Hurricane Hunter aircraft as we went through Ivan, and I also went through Bertha back in 1996. Also, in weather prediction, we have now drones. We have the Global Hawk, which can fly many, many more miles. On top of that, we have the Coyote, which is a Coyote is a really interesting piece of drone technology, if you will, that will also help us in getting more data. And it's all about more data.
Well,
exactly.
With all these bells and whistles, Charlie, do you still need a Hurricane Hunter to fly into the clouds?
Well, we do at this point in time. In the future, might be different.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I talked to someone about this. It's about 10 years down the road. It's more than likely that they'll be using drones, taking the risk of human lives. Although they've never lost a plane, and they've been flying into them for decades. But it'll take that aspect out of it. And these drones are able to fly for a longer period of time, get more information at different levels of the storm. And when you get different, more data at different levels, you'll have a better understanding of what the storm is and what it's all about. So it will help us.
Now, part of my job is to be a tax watchdog when I'm covering city and county government. And I happen to notice that this thing is not cheap. $300 million to launch it. Launch it. $1.4 billion to build it, the right word, Charlie?
Correct.
And these are tax dollars. Now,
yes.
Both of you can justify why this is a good use of tax dollars, and you, Bob, even could say that we get our money back in a way.
Yeah, looking at what they're talking about, and as far as the savings goes down the road in terms of getting aircraft out of harm's way when it comes to lightning projection, where hurricanes, if you understand, if we can better predict where hurricanes are going to go using this technology, and we can shorten that distance as far as the air rate goes, say 10, 20 miles, each mile estimated to be about $500,000 to $1 million in savings to the tax dollars. So yes, the justification is that $4.6 billion savings with this new technology, $4.6 billion. So you said the satellite cost to make $1.4 billion. The overall project, $11 billion for 4 satellites. So if you look at the cost analysis, you're talking about a savings more than what the actual cost to make it.
Yeah, the improvement in predictability so that people can get whatever they need to out of the way of a storm and prepare. Yeah, it's money well spent.
So to those of us watching from home, 6 months from now, will Bob's maps look different now? Or?
Oh, they'll look a lot different. To be able to see these thunderstorms bubble up in 1 minute or half-minute imagery, 4 times the resolution, it's kind of like looking at one of those old TV sets and going to a high def.
I mean, but already you can go right down to neighborhoods. Now what, inside windows?
With pretty much. You're going to see a lot of data come from these things, obviously. But that's a good point, Ray. It's better resolution and a smaller grid area, so to speak, so they can see minute details that are taking shape and developing as far as tornadic activity goes. There's going to be so much data and research done from just what this outputs, the output from this satellite, that will increase research and give us a better understanding of how tornadoes form and so on and so forth. So it will save lives, not just dollars, but lives too, and I think that's an important point.
Charlie, you've been doing this for a number of decades, I'm sure, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
And this is the biggest deal in your career, would you say?
It's one of the biggest deals. It is a big deal, and it will be very helpful, not just to us meteorologists, but to anybody that looks on the internet, wants to take a look at a satellite picture of a hurricane coming or a thunderstorm developing, that sort of thing. We'll be able to see it on TV.
And for those who just joined us, the previous line of demarcation in your world was back in 1988 with radars, you said.
Yeah, with that huge leap in radar technology that we all like to see, where we can look inside the thunderstorms and see tornado circulations. Now, with this, we'll be able to see lightning ramp up. That's an indicator of a tornado developing even sooner.
And severe thunderstorms as well. And I want to make another point also about the radars, the data array radar too, which is going to be coming online soon. They already use it in Oklahoma, I believe. And you know, people don't realize it, but the radar that we see now that says live, it takes a while to process. So it's not really live in real time. There's a 4-minute delay or so in it. But with this new data array system, which is coming online too, as we look into the future of weather forecasting, is going to help us in that it only takes a minute to scan the skies, and it scans all levels at that point as well. So radar technology is also advancing incredibly, and will do so over the upcoming decade, which will also aid in predicting where tornadoes may be forming and where they may be heading.
So this is great for your storm center, but at home we can also see it on the internet.
That's a good point. You know, I was just bringing that up. You know, back in the day when I first started in 1985, I was the keeper of the radar from the National Weather Service. They sent it to us, and then we put it out there. No one had access to it.
Right.
Now everyone has access to it with their smartphones. And I tell you, a lot more people are going to these. It isn't advanced quite yet that you don't need us. You know, you still need a meteorologist to try to interpret things, because I know my wife, for example, was watching. It was on Facebook the other day, and it said rain for yesterday, and this was on Sunday. I said, no, there's no rain. But the computer automated programs that show forecasts on your smartphones aren't quite there yet. There's no meteorologist really to look at it and adjust it and change it based on their experiencing in the past. So I just want to make sure that we still have some job security as we get a little older here.
Definitely. So with the prediction of fog in the morning, we'll be able, with this new satellite, to see the boundaries of the fog better, to see the thickness of the fog better, and be able to predict when the fog will burn off better. And sea fog is a huge impact to shipping and to land operations. So if we can predict this better, it will definitely save money.
We just saw it last week when the Sunshine Skyway Bridge closed down for about an hour, 2 hours there, and that sea fog kind of rolled in without any kind of advanced warning. You know, with these new satellites, so we'll be able to see that, and also direct and redirect airline traffic, which will save money in the long run.
So it's a government satellite, U.S. owned. I imagine your counterparts in Canada will want to eavesdrop on this thing and somehow use it. Will they have access to it in Canada?
Well, depends what part of Canada we're talking about. Because it's a geostationary satellite, it's above the equator, 22,000 miles up. So when you're near the top of the Earth, you don't get a very good view from this satellite. So they may be using the polar orbiting satellites that come around twice a day.
And that's interesting. The polar orbiting satellites are lower in the atmosphere, and they go from pole to pole, so they don't get the continuous data. They do a little bit more in-depth in terms of 3D mapping of what's going on in the storms, for example. And I want people to know also is that the Europeans have satellites, Japanese have weather satellites. A lot of different weather satellites are out there. We have the goes east and goes west with a backup ready to go, and then this one becomes operational. They'll, I think, retire goes 13, and eventually, you know, they'll have 3 satellites looking at the United States.
But ours is light years ahead of what they have?
Well, that's another point. I read recently that this puts us ahead of the Europeans. The European model, by the way, did so well with predicting Hurricane Sandy, and this is what kind of got the ball rolling with a lot of the increase into the forecast modeling, too. They put a lot more money into it, and now the United States model is doing quite well and expected to do better in the future.
All right, up next, some final thoughts and also your comments on last night's topic about heroin addiction. Stay with us.
The all-new MySuncoast.com. Just another way we're here for you.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com. AND services.com.
on horrendously cold nights, on days when the rain has been relentless, or when the sun is beating down, there is an animal trapped with no protection, fighting to stay alive. Time is running out for them, but you can help save them by joining the ASPCA today. With your donation of just $18 a month, you'll help rescue abused and neglected animals, provide them with food, shelter, and medical care. When you go online or call in the next 10 minutes, we'll send you this free membership kit and our limited edition 150th anniversary t-shirt. It's just 60 cents a day to pull animals out of a terrible life. Don't let them suffer another day. Please help now.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
And welcome back. Some final thoughts now on how the next era of weather forecasting will affect you. The GOES-R satellite. Charlie, some final thoughts about this new toy.
Well, we can't wait to start using it. And again, it's going through the testing phase. And once we get it, we'll be expanding our data pipes to get more of this data in here because it's a tremendous amount.
You know, you said it's near the equator, so will it be more effective, say, in Key West than it will be in Portland, Maine?
Well, in general, as we look toward the top of the Earth, you get a skewed picture. So, yeah,
a little bit.
Center of the Earth, the U.S. in general, yeah, great imagery.
Well, again, Bob, it's certainly great news for those of us in Florida with the hurricane threat and, of course, the lightning. It's going to change your life and ours. Yeah,
we saw the tornado last January. You know, this it was a flare-up of lightning prior to it striking and coming out of the clouds there. So it's going to help us in predicting where tornadoes are and give a better lead time for the folks. You know, in 1985, the lead time for tornadic activity and tornado warnings was about only 5 minutes or so, and now that has gone up to 13 minutes. So now we give warning 13 minutes in advance of the arrival of the strong winds associated with the tornado. So it will only get better in the future. And on top of that, this is going to help with agricultural communities all across this country. And we didn't really talk much about it, but with space weather, which is becoming a big deal and will do so in the future, that we can kind of tell where the solar flares are and kind of solar energy and these mass ejections that come out of the sun that can cause problems to satellites that are going around, and they can turn the satellites if they know that's coming and save and spare those satellites, as well as electric grids on the United States. So electric grids are in danger of these sunspots, if you will, the solar energy that can cause significant damage. If they know it's coming, they can turn them off and shut them down and save a lot of money in the future.
This is going to watch the Earth as well as the sun.
That's right. And space.
And space.
That's right.
You know, I don't think, Charlie, most people are aware that this was in the works and it's going to change a lot of folks' lives.
It's been in the works for a long time, and this is the first of 4 satellites. So we'll see a couple more go up, and this is through 2037. The year 2037.
We'll always need a local chief meteorologist, though, right?
Oh, definitely.
and the Weather Service, despite efforts of privatizing it.
Let's take a sharp turn right now and talk about some comments about last night's program. Manatee's medical examiner is warning of a new threat in the fight against heroin synthetic opioids. Drugs such as carfentanil are on the rise, and they're 10,000 times more potent than morphine. In fact, it was originally developed as an elephant tranquilizer. Now it has been detected nearly 50 fatal overdoses on the Suncoast just this year alone. Here's what some of you are saying about this emerging danger. Annie Brooks wrote, unfortunately, most of these opioid drugs, the addicts rather, began at the pain management clinic. Instead of trying to fix the problem, pain management docs are throwing scripts at people instead. Drug rehabs and pain management are the new money-making big business. Thomas White wrote, these people are using illegal drugs. It's not like these are regulated by anyone. It's a risk you take as a drug addict. You're at someone else's mercy. I'm not saying it's okay, but it is what it is without sugarcoating it. And Barbara Evanson wrote, unless the addict wants to help themselves, anyone worrying, throwing money, or anything else does not work. It's a waste of resources. Having raised a child who turned to substances, I can promise you nothing matters to them but the drugs. If you want to comment on tonight's topic, go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/news7. If you want to watch past discussions, they're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. Thanks to both of our guests, Charlie Paxton from NOAA and our own Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. A short commute for you tonight to be here. Up next, a new live segment on avoiding scams. Plus, the Green Party called for recounts throughout the Rust Belt. Now, some in Florida are calling for our own recounts in the Sunshine State. Details in our primetime headlines.
Batteries Plus bulbs keep stacks of batteries for cars, cell phones, watches, plus light bulbs for lamps, can lights, and appliances right on hand. Did I mention we also repair smartphones? Batteries Plus bulbs. Trust the plus. Visit Batteries Plus bulbs today.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions Now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
The official salon of ABC7.
Tonight, a new segment about helping you avoid scams, schemes, and fraud. We're joined by government benefits consultant Jerry Zivick. And Jerry, we start with email scams that we should all know about. What do you have about those for us?
Well, the internet has a lot of good, but with that good comes a lot of bad. The Internal Revenue Service has been targeted. Taxpayers are receiving emails that say you owe them money because of the Affordable Care Act. These emails come, they look exactly like they're from the IRS. They have logos, they have government telephone numbers, and they're not real. So if you're receiving an email that says that you owe the government money, it's probably not accurate.
And they're very deceptive the way those come across into our inbox. They always look like they're real, and so often they're not. Are there other IRS email cons or other types of cons that are also fairly common these days?
Well, there are endless cons that involve the IRS. It's gotten so bad that the IRS on their website at irs.gov actually has a whole section devoted to potential scams that are using the IRS names. Some of them involve robocalls that say, call right away, you owe them money. There's another scam that mimics the IRS website and gives you a link to send money in. There's just endless possibilities.
What are some red flags if you receive an email from the IRS that would tip you off that it's not genuine?
Well, some of the red flags would be, number one, the IRS will never contact you initially by email, text, or Facebook. Number two, the IRS will never ask you to send in a credit card or an iPhone card or an Amazon card or ask you to wire transfer money. Number three, the IRS will never say you're going to be deported immediately or go to jail. And as I said earlier, they're not going to send you a link to pay money.
So what should you do when you receive one of these emails or other contacts from the IRS?
Well, I think whenever you get an email, whether or not it's the IRS or any other person or agency, you need to be suspicious. If you don't recognize the sender, there's cause to pause. I think if I would receive something from the IRS and you use an accountant, you should call up your accountant, what should I do or not do? You can also go to the local IRS office here in Sarasota and say, is this real? It's located on Cattle Ridge Road.
Okay, our first week in the books already about email scams. What are some other topics that you might share with us every other Tuesday as we see you in the future here?
Well, the goal is to try and help consumers. There are topics, there's a new rule on buying used cars, there's new rules on selling supplements, there's new rules on contact prescriptions. So there's a lot of things out there that can help you as the viewer.
All right, news you can use. Thank you, Jerry Zipk. We'll see you in about two weeks.
You got it.
Up next, your primetime headlines. Stay right there.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here. Because
why, you don't like my hair?
The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds.
No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm going to show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch The Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
Don't miss the 19th annual Thunder by the Bay Motorcycle Festival, January 5th through the 8th, to benefit Suncoast Charities for Children. This year's festival welcomes special guest Blue Oyster Cult to the premier sports campus at Lakewood Ranch on January 8th at 4 p.m. Admission is free. Festival events include a sporting clay tournament, kickoff party, welcome Thunder event, Cruise for Cash charity motorcycle ride, and a 2-day Rockin' and Ridin' at the Ranch festival featuring vendors, live music, a Taste of Thunder area, and more. VIP tickets are available. For tickets and info, visit thunderbythebay.org.
If you have a suspicion for harboring prostate cancer, we have a way of diagnosing by using an exquisite instrument called three-dimensional color flow power Doppler ultrasound. Using this system, we can identify abnormalities within the prostate that you could otherwise never detect. The Dottoli Cancer Center is the only center in the southeastern United States which has this technology. If you have prostate cancer, we will find it.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-652-3012. That's 1-800-652-3012. Call now, 1-800-652-3012. For a free brochure, call 1-800-652-3012.
It's now being called the deadliest fire in the U.S. in about a decade. Now, recovery efforts are underway in Oakland, where a warehouse fire killed at least 36 people over the weekend. Police say the victims died from smoke inhalation. Survivors describe a thick black smoke that filled the building during a Friday night concert. City officials say the warehouse wasn't supposed to also be residential, but it was. Despite complaints to the city, residents of the warehouse say it was going well.
Did you ever feel unsafe living there?
No, there's a lot of fire extinguishers because we didn't have a sprinkler system.
The investigation could turn up criminal against a man running the building, depicted right there. In New York today, the president-elect took to Twitter and also talked to reporters about a deal with a Japanese investor and also the cost of a new Air Force One. Details from reporter Janae Norman.
The president-elect posting to social media about his latest deal and then, seconds later, solidifying it with a handshake in front of cameras.
And he's just agreed to invest $50 billion in the United States and 50,000 jobs.
Tweeting this deal wouldn't have happened if he hadn't won. Almost deja vu of how Trump criticized a government contract with Boeing to build new Air Force One planes. First with a tweet and then an unexpected appearance.
Well, the plane is totally out of control. It's going to be over $4 billion. It's for Air Force One program. And I think it's ridiculous.
Now questions over where Trump got the $4 billion price tag. Boeing releasing a statement saying it's currently under contract for $170 million for the next generation of Air Force One planes. Trump will fly in his own plane as he continues his thank you tour in key battleground states. With Hillary Clinton still up by more than 2.5 million in the popular vote, House Democrats are calling into question the legitimacy of the Electoral College and proposing ways to limit its power. One suggestion, guaranteeing that states' Electoral College votes are awarded to the winner of the national popular vote.
I don't think we can sustain our American democracy by having the majority ruled by the minority.
The Electoral College meets December 19th to cast their votes. In the meantime, after North Carolina, Donald Trump will take his thank you tour to Iowa on Thursday and Michigan on Friday. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
3 Central Florida voters are suing for a recount. The voters claim that Hillary Clinton, not Donald Trump, actually won Florida. They say malfunctioning machines and hacking are to blame. The litigants are now demanding a hand recount of every paper ballot in Florida. But some lawyers advise that the defendants, President-elect Trump, Governor Rick Scott, and 29 Republican electors from Florida may not respond before the Electoral College meets on December 19th. From the Electoral College to Legislator University, new state lawmakers are getting a 2-day crash course on topics like ethics and rules. Now, more than a third of the House is made up of first-timers. Florida has 8-year term limits on House members. While some say it brings in new ideas, it can also create a learning curve of sorts.
Regardless of your ideology, a legislator who knows what they're doing, who knows how to maneuver through this process, is better than one